Hey everyone, Luke here, and yes, before anyone says it, I have seen the news about the Yozakura, like the final arc, revving up again, and to be honest, I'm kind of 50-50 on that. I feel like we will have like some of the fights like maybe get a bit quicker going, because I mean the only really big fights that we have left are Shion's, Nanano's, there was the one of Shion, Nanano, and Karitro's. I feel like Karitro's will be one of like the bigger ones that goes on for quite some time, but as well, I feel like Karitro and Futaba, they have to at least show their bloomings, because we're going to talk about that when we get into the chapter. But for Futaba to end this series without her true spring blooming being revealed, that would just be weird. So I feel like that is something that we are going to look at, but for now, let's just dive right into the chapter. Okay, so this will be chapter 238, titled Team Shion. So again, this is referring to obviously getting onto Shion's fight, because Futaba's fight was just like an easy, quick and done. Which again, like I said, for her to not show her true spring blooming, I would be a little bit disappointed. And I'm not just saying that because that Futaba is my favourite character, but you would have all the other siblings and to not show hers and Karitro's, that would just be like, why? I mean, I get it for this fight, but I feel like when it's all the Yozakuras going up against Asa, I feel like that's probably when she will reveal true spring blooms. But yeah, anyway, so to start off the chapter, it ends pretty much from the ending of the last chapter with Fruitsbirds just battle ending just immediately, being like, oh yeah, it was the winner of the fight was Futaba Yozakura, and it being 10 seconds long, and everyone's just being bamboozled, like, well, that was fast. So I guess we've got to bow to your superior power, Futaba. She goes on and says, Shion, now it's your turn. Let's see you beat my record. And Shion's just like, yeah, like how that's possible. You're just a monster, Futaba. There's no way we're going to be able to end this fight in 10 seconds. So I guess nowadays, like, fights can end in 10 seconds, just be over and done with. Like, hey, it can happen. But like I said, I feel like this fight for Futaba was just kind of like a throwaway fight. I feel like when we get to seeing Shura, you know the one, the gold rank spy that hasn't shown up yet. I feel like that's when Futaba will activate a true spring bloom. So she's like, this fight was just like probably a precursor to what her big fight in the series is gonna be. So yeah, that'll be something we'll have to look forward to later. But now we're focusing on Shion's fight, the magical girl / fantasy / MMORPG fight, as we see Shion and Nano just staring down a monstrous form of Dr. Mosley. Like, this form is just like massively towering over them, and they say like, hey, your very existence is a hack that breaks the game. How can we cut out speed run? How can we cut out speed run like that? Obviously referring to Futaba just like speed running through her fight, and then Shion's just like, how can we even match that? So this is extremely unreasonable. And now it's just like, oh well, let's just clear up in here, just clear it up our way, shall we? Basically just make it as effective as possible and as quickly as we can possibly can. Like, we're not going to be as fast as Futaba, but we can at least just like go at our own pace, whether it's as fast as Futaba or as slow as Futaba. So we have Yo staring down Shion and going, a piece of Asa's heart, as Shion reiterates, like, no, not Shion, no, reiterates that, oh, a piece of Asa's heart is inside is inside Yo, or as they like to call the elf child, right? So destroying that is what will clear this level, and they've got to pull out the mob trash that way. That's how we're gonna beat this fight. But of course, they've also got to get past Mosley, which they effectively do, as Nano turns himself into like really squishy jelly and just enraptures Dr. Mosley. So that's going to be like Nano's big fight, and that's probably where Nano's going to activate his True Speed Booming against Dr. Mozu. Makes sense considering they have the most obvious relationship between the two. So it's going to be that, and then, like I said, Food Spirits like True Speed Booming is probably going to be used on Shuru. So Nano says like, I'll stuff you into a beaker to make sure you can never get up to mischief again. And the Mozu's just like, oh really? You better make it a darn big beaker, or I won't fit. So at this point, it's Shion versus Yo, and she's just saying like, okay, here's a spell I whipped up specifically for capturing Asa. Get a good taste of it. Shion jail, as you see, like just this like square shape enrapture Yo, and Yo is just like, oh, I can't move, and this is where Shion explains her abilities again. You gotta have that cliche of just like, oh, you gotta explain what your powers do. So she explains that the wall that Nano reflects and makes out of his own cells to reflect your brainwaves. It's coming back at you. So it's basically like a mirror of Yo's abilities. So like, oh, you are rubber, we are glue. And Shion recreated that reflective wall using her drones and lights and sound processors. They create what amounts to a floating prison. So basically impenetrable for Yo. But of course, Yo is going to break that because it's Yo. It's one of Asa's children, and Asa is an OP character. As Shion says, oh, it detects and precisely reflects all Simone activity and frequently bounces out the source. In other words, it can fully contain anybody with Yozakura blood, trapping them and restraining them from using their powers. So it's an impenetrable cell. You cannot get out of it, and literally seconds later, Yo is able to get out of it. But even then, another prison just goes over that. So Yo just trying to break out of it, but as they're doing that, another prison goes over to it as a surge of brainwaves that she's attacking. Power output and wavelengths are randomizing. She's looking for a weak point to break through. So that's what Yo is trying to do, and Shion is reiterating this like, oh, Yo is trying to get a weak point to actually break through this prison. But of course, we have Giga and Giga and the kid that has a kind of sort of relationship with Shion. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that about Shion. How it has this kid that it just seems like a little bit creepy. So we're not even going to acknowledge that. It's just going to be Lord Ginga. But this is they're both part of Team Shion, as they're just like, still well within expectations. That system was built with the help of a once-in-a-million genius. Me, Lord Giga. Nobody on the planet can break out of it. So yeah, Giga, from what I can understand here, amplified the prison to make it like as impenetrable as it could possibly do. So they're just going like, so Shion's just like, our life and death battle isn't entertainment, thanks, because everyone is just getting entertainment of Shion as the comments are just flooding in about while this is all happening. So I find that incredibly funny. Like, this is a life and death battle, it's not entertainment, but the comments say, I don't care, this is not life or death battle. And Mozu's just like, yeah, not Mozu. Giga's just like, yeah, not my problem. Before we have okay, I'm gonna find out remind myself what this kid's name actually is. Okay, so I've just looked up the name again, Kenji. So it's Kenji. I had to really remember like what this kid's name. I remember the kid. I remember like having this weird relationship with Shion, but I was just like, what is actually that kid's name? But yeah, it's Kenji. So we have Shion going, okay, you asked for it. I'm posting pictures of real life Giga looking bland in a normal school uniform. I do like this bit. So it's like Shion's just like, oh, you're using our battle for entertainment, right? I'm going to embarrass you by showing you what your normal life is. And Giga is like, oh, you dare do that, and you are dead, Shion. Before we have Kenji saying, weird, she should be in pain from the reflective brainwaves, but her output is still right. It's still right. So like Yo is not being affected by it. Before Kenji says, "Oh, I'll raise the barrier strength by 30%." As we get into a flashback of between Yo and Asa, where Yo basically sees everything in a childlike situation, and asks Asa like, "Hey, Dad, your eyes are dead, so what's the point of you living if you're not gonna have any fun?" And Asa is just bamboozled, like, "Wait, you had anesthetic and yet you still woke up. As he explains that he's laying a foundation that will allow him to use Yo as well as the siblings as the substitutes, and Yo basic childlike mentality of just like, "Oh, okay, I get you, yeah, that's fine, Dad, but you didn't answer before, your eyes look dead, don't you think living is fun?" And Asa, just because he's just like being alive for over 300 years at this point, like, just he is dead on the inside, dead in every way, to the point that I feel like he is not human. Like, he has lost all his humanity from the experiments he's done, from the murders he's done, from like the torment he's done on his own family. He has basically numbed himself to the point that he has basically lost all sense of emotion in every single way. That's what I believe, and that's what makes him like a truly like monster in my eyes. Like, the fact that he's lost all those emotions, has no regards for his family, nothing whatsoever. Like, he is truly scary in that sense, to the point that he's numbed himself so much that, like, he basically can't feel what it's like to be human anymore. So he goes on and says, "I don't find fun a necessary component in my life. In fact, I am uncertain how attached I am to life at this point. And when I saw Tsubumi's powers for the first time, something inside me changed. Faced with that power, that immense, incredible power, I realised that we humans are nothing but a single element in a much larger world." And Yo is just like, "Yeah, Dad, you're going on about this philosophy stuff. I don't really get it." Before Asa continues on and says, "I believe circulated for a time professed the Earth was once a single organism. If you assume each individual human is an individual cell, then the Yozakura powers are Earth itself, evolving, being reborn anew," which makes sense. Like, everyone is constantly evolving and changing, and basically becoming different people the more we actually live. And like he says here, the Yozakura powers are no exception, always constantly evolving, and it's going to get to a point where it's incredibly dangerous for them, and resulting in the end of the Yozakura line unless something is done, like what he's actually planning to do right now. So he goes on and says, an individual's thoughts, feelings, friendship, love, even family, in the face of something so enormous, what meaning do such bonds have? Like I said, no regards for anyone except himself, completely emotional. Everyone in his eyes is just a tool for his own selfish desires, which, like I said, makes him a very terrifying villain. And probably one of the most terrifying villains in Shonen Jump in general. Like, I'd want to do this, like a tier list on Shonen Jump villains, because I think Asa would be right at the top. So we have Yo, after listening to everything Asa says, she goes on and says, "Oh, I pity Dad. He doesn't get what being excited is, what fun is. It's super important stuff, but he just doesn't get that at all. So me and the others are going to teach him, even if it takes a long time. We'll still do it. And if you get in our way, we'll make you pay." So yeah, we're basically trying to get our dad to understand what it's like to basically be human again. And if nobody likes it, yeah, you're not gonna get it away. Before Yo basically embraces the fact that, oh yeah, my dad's gonna take over me, but hey, if it helps him out, if it helps him to understand what fun actually is, then I gladly welcome it. So come out, Dad. And Yo turns into that, like, just this amorphous darkness blob. So 4 arms, 3 eyes, with Asa's eye right in the center, like just this enormous mass of like just pure dark terror here. Like, okay, this is like probably one of the most creepiest, scariest things that the Yozakura family series has ever done. Just this giant Yo, like a child turning into just this like creepy H.I. Giga abomination right before Shion's eyes, as we have Kenji and Giga looking on and being like, wait, she actually broke the prison. Oh, somebody's had a growth spurt. Yeah, no kidding, they've had a growth spurt. Before they go on and say, an influx of eternal energy is what did it. This must be the silver of Asa's heart that was mentioned. With Asa's heart as a battery, she's using her brainwaves to stimulate her body, triggering that massive transformation. So yeah, Asa's heart being the key to this massive transformation makes perfect sense. And Shion just looks up at this abomination and being like, oh, so you're basically just an extra convenient pawn for him. Are you sure you're okay with that? And in Yo's eyes, because of the fact that this is the only family she's actually known, it's like, no, we're not pawns, we're simply family here. I know we're weird, we're probably doing a lot of stuff wrong, but I love my family, so I'm going to pretend as she says this with just all her eyes looking down at Shion and just being like, I'm going to protect my family. And Shion just gives like, okay, I'd probably be crapping my pants if I was looking up at this thing, but Shion's just like giving like the blank stare for us where, really? This is your idea of family? Family that uses each other as pawns for their own selfish means. That's their idea of family. And yeah, and it ticks her, and even though she's probably thinking this, it's like it ticks her off that she can actually sympathize with that, because her family's a total lost cause, but she can't hate them, and she gets that you're going to be hardcore, that Yo's going to be hardcore about this, so it's only polite that she's going to be hardcore right back, and she's going to overpower Yo fair and square, no holds bar, and release her from Asa's control, whether she wants it to happen or not. And she's just like, okay, basically doing what Nehemiah does in the Bleach anime. Like I said, love the fact that the Zero Squad in the Bleach's anime has been done justice, but Shion's just like Nehemiah here, just like, let's go Team Shion, let's move out. And Giga is just like, yeah, we didn't really approve of this name, so we're not going to take this lame name. We are not calling ourselves Team Shion, but we aren't even a team in the first place here, so I operate all. And Shion's just like, okay, yeah, but let's just do what we need to do, and let's just get me activating my goddamn true spring blooming, which is called Chaos. So, not really sure, like, how you go from analyzing to chaos. I don't know. But yeah, this name of Shion's true spring blooming turns are all white, but that's not all. It's like it's turning it into some sort of magical girl transformation, which makes sense because she's all about the MMO RPG video games. So obviously in video games and in other, you gotta have like the traditional transformation, and this is what's happening with Shion. As her truth being ruined, she's wrapping around her body, and she goes on to say one of the hallmarks of true spring brewing is the spring flames. It's it's a glow caused by Simone cells that takes on forms unique to everyone's different genetics, but hers apparently doesn't want to hold any one shape for so long, so she's got to take the Shion jail that she showed before and tweak it so that it works in a slightly different way. And using her drone sounds and electromagnetic energy, she can recreate her own spring frames in whatever shape she wants. So I guess like she's gonna be like Dark Magician Girl of Chaos, Dark Magician, like all the Dark Magician girls from Yu-Gi-Oh! I assume that's what we're going for here, but essentially, yeah, she's going for a magical girl transformation here. This is the most powerful, most hype battle gear that my impressive imagination could come up with. So let's fight Shion Famari as we get the full-page double spread of Shion's full true spring blooming form here. And like I said, magical girl-esque right here. Very beautiful, very elegant, and I cannot wait to see what goes on here. And we have everyone just being like, oh yeah, this is quite awesome here, just like really bombastic, really beautiful. Pardon while I borrow your apt whelp. I've seen all I need to see. Screen licking into Yeah, basically everyone is just fangasming in the series over Shion's but like they're basically being what the audience is going to be here, like just these rapid fanboys are there. Okay, we need to get Deviant out of this. We need to get Rule 34 of this. We need to get like just basically everything under the sun in terms of this truth being brewing because we've got to get all that fan out right here, right now. And I've seen some people actually doing this already with this chapter with Shion's truth being blooming for me. Just come on, we've got to get it out quickly right now. So the other kind of knew that okay, once I show Shion in a Shion finale form with this truth being blooming, everyone is going to be like on point of just being like, we need to get this, we need to get all this fan art out right here, right now, within the next week or so, and next chapter is going to be a color be a color page. So I can imagine that just being like what's on the color page of just like Shion's truth being blooming form. It would make the most sense. But anyway, yeah, that's the end of the chapter with and really not much to go off in this chapter. Just like setting up the battle that's going to happen between Shion and Yo, and yeah. And yeah, have no idea what attacks this truth being blooming is going to do. I mean, she says she can shape it into any form she wishes, and she's chosen this form as like her most powerful, most hype battle gear that my impressive imagination could come up with. So whatever techniques that she can use with this battle gear, that's something we're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, I did like this chapter, even though not much really happened. With, like I said, it was just like wrapping up the initial fight between Futaba and Ni. But like I said, I feel Futaba's fight where she reveals the true speaking ability, that's going to be up against Shuru. So yeah, and we also get like the moment where Nano goes to confront Giga, so not Giga, Mozu. So I feel like Mozu is going. That's where Nano is going to activate his true speaking ability. So I feel like it's going to be. Shion, we're going to have this fight, and I feel like that's going to take up the rest of the next chapter. So we're going to have 2 chapters focusing on the Shion fight, 2 chapters focusing on the Nano fight, so that'll be 4 chapters. Then we have, I want to say, like at least 3 chapters for the Futaba versus Shuru fight, where she activates her true speed ring, and then maybe 4 chapters with Karicho. So that's 3, 2, 2. And then 4. So that's 11 chapters, and then after those 11 chapters, we get right into the final ultimate competition between everyone versus Asa. Like, we wrap up Asa versus Taiyo on his own, but then after that, we get Asa versus everyone to wrap up the series. And I feel like that final battle will probably be like the longest. I'm looking at like 6 chapters at least of that final battle between Asa and everyone. So that means we've got at least 20 more chapters of the series, because like I said at the beginning of the review, I know that it's building up to the big finale, like it's rapidly moving along, but I do think we're still gonna, I feel like early next year, so like maybe in January, that's when we start winding down the series. So hey, it's still going to go on until like about 250 chapters. So 250 260 chapters, I'm giving that like the end point for the series, which, hey, considering how well this like final structure is going to be, it's going like everyone's getting their chance to have their time to shine, show off their technique, show off their battles with everyone, get those last little bits of character development in. I feel like this will probably go down as like one of the best endings for shonen series we've had in a while. But that's something we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.